All right, everybody, welcome back to the locker room. Joining us now, as he does every week, IPFW head basketball coach Tony Jasek. Talk a little bit full court press today. Coach, tough loss last night against Oakland. You guys went down 96-86, and I told you this. You guys lost, but I mean, that was, if you're a basketball fan, that was a fun game to watch. And unfortunately for you guys, I think the biggest downfall was my goodness, from three-point range, they knocked down 14 three balls, and for you guys, unfortunately, only 60% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, I bet it was an exciting game for a fan to watch. Unfortunately, on our end, we did not execute our defensive game plan very well at all. The numbers obviously show that. We can't allow teams to shoot over 50% and expect to have a chance. We're just not that high-powered of an offensive outfit, which is fine. When we've been really good here the last couple of weeks, we really guarded, kept people to a low percentage, and then we were really efficient on offense. Last night we were really efficient on offense, shot about 55%, and unfortunately the defensive end of the equation didn't carry us. All
right, Coach. Now, what impressed me last night? You guys had scoring from guys not named McCorkle or Gaines. You had Mario Hines led you guys in scoring with 20, and then Antoine Boyd had 15. Michael Kepelowski had 11. So, for you, encouraging sign that you're seeing some guys step up a little bit here that you wouldn't necessarily think would.
Yeah, I thought it was Mario's best game here with us. He was extremely efficient. Missed one shot, the entire night, which is really good to see. I thought he was really active on the glass, and especially defensively, because our perimeter guys didn't do a very good job of defending the ball, and they put Mario in a lot of bad situations around the goal, and he affected a number of shots and made some plays for us defensively throughout the game. So really, really pleased for Rio. Hopefully he can take this success from last night and continue to have it impact his play both in practice and on the floor. And then Antoine's just been steady. He made some shots last night, which was great to see, but he's been a steady guy for us for the last year and a half, and hopefully our team can rally around him and his leadership and finish this league schedule the right way.
Now, a big thing for you guys in this one, you got Trey McCorkle back, the big fella. He had that lower body injury, hip, determining what it was kind of hard. But last night, no points, 16 minutes in that one. But was this sort of a case where you're just kind of easing him back into this thing a little bit?
Well, I don't know about easing him back into it. The decision for Trey to play or not was completely on him. And so before the game, he went through therapy multiple times over the course of the week, and going into the game last night, he just said, he said, Coach, I'd like to, I think I can give it a go. Let's see where we're at. And went out, and I thought his presence helped us. Just having him around on the floor, I think he does good things for us, even if he's only at 80 or 85%. He still is a quality inside presence and affects our team from a psychological standpoint and a basketball standpoint. And then Mario came on really strong, which allowed us to maybe rest Trey more than we normally would, and really not have much of a gap between the two inside guys for the rest of the game. So although no, Trey's not 100%, he did come in and tried to play, which I thought was good, showed some good toughness and some leadership for our young guys. And then fortunately, Mario really answered the bell and was able to play significant minutes, both in the first half and then pretty much the whole second half.
Okay, well, we got two games on the docket this week. It's Oral Roberts on Thursday, and then a trip to Southern Utah on Saturday. Let's start off with Oral Roberts. I mean, they've pretty much been the creme de la creme of the conference for several years now, multiple trips to the NCAA Tournament. Right now, they're 16-4. 8-0 in conference play. They got big wins over Texas Tech and Xavier. Granted, the Xavier game was after all the suspensions and everything for Xavier. Nonetheless, a good win. I guess my question for you in this one, how much is it for you guys a mindset going in there and saying, look, we're not going to be your whipping boys in this game here?
Yeah, and I definitely don't think that's the case. We swept them last year. Obviously, we've got a significantly different team than we had last year. But I do think this. Oral Roberts is extremely talented.
They've got 6 guys that really could all be all league. They're starting 5, and then Roundtree coming off the bench is as good as there is in the league at the 4. So there'll be it's going to be a tall task going into Tulsa and winning the game. But I do believe that if our guys will commit on the defensive end to making it difficult for them to get open looks and then come down and continue to be as efficient as we've been the last couple weeks on offense, I think we'll have a chance. But again, it's not one of those games where you're going to just walk in and roll over Oral Roberts, no doubt.
Now, the interesting thing with them is, I mean, all 5 of their starters are averaging 9 points a game, so it's not like, okay, I'm going to hone in on this guy, we stop him, we're fine. You really have to be very balanced on defense in this one.
Absolutely. Everybody's got to answer the bell and do their job individually on their guy. I think there's no doubt that Dominique Morrison is one of the top 3 or 4 players in our league. He's on every draft board that's out there. I feel like we say that every week about guys
We do.
in the league. That's the thing as our league continues to grow. I mean, it's a big boy league.
There are no longer any nights off where you can just look at your opponent on paper and be like, all right, we've got this one. It really is, which makes it fun. It's good. It's a great challenge, and I think Oral Roberts will definitely continue to improve as the year goes on. So we've got to be ready to go.
All right, then off to Southern Utah on Saturday. You guys beat them 79-58 a couple weeks back. But granted, they only shot 44% from the field, and in that game, didn't convert a 3-ball. So I guess in the back of your mind, you can't expect them to have as poor shooting night on Saturday as they did a couple weeks back.
Well, I hope they do, and I hope that the reason why they do is because of our defensive, execution and urgency. The Southern Utah trip is it's a challenge because it's so far out there.
It's the only trip in the league where you're flying on Friday. Most of the trips you fly on Wednesday, play Thursday, and then drive on Friday, play Saturday, and fly home. But you're flying in between cities. It makes the travel long, and your team, your team's got to have some toughness because there are a lot of excuses that can creep in if you allow them to, or if you think that way. So we've got to handle it the right way. We've got to go out there and know that we're going to get a heck of a fight from Southern Utah, and the whole game's going to be decided on our defensive urgency and our toughness on the glass.
Now I want to talk about this a little bit. We talked about this earlier. RPI for your conference. I mean, the Pac-12, 9th in the country in RPI, Summit League, 11th in RPI. What does that say about this conference right now?
Well, I think it's continuing to grow. I think that anytime, there are 32 leagues in the country.
And like you said, we're 11th right now, and that puts us in, somewhere in the neighborhood of the top third of all Division I conferences in the country. We've got some great wins in the non-league. The thing that I think is most interesting, after about 2 or 3 weeks of league play, our RPI hasn't went down. Usually at the mid-major level, once you start playing in the league, your RPI declines every week because of the opponents that you'll play in your league. You're not getting the marquee, the big-name opponents in your league, and ours hasn't. Ours has stayed strong. And I think it's a tribute to the coaches. It's a tribute to the quality of the players and the institutions that are making a commitment to really make this a quality mid-major basketball league on the national stage. And it's exciting to go through it. It's a little bit more treacherous when you have as many young guys and freshmen that we're playing who just don't understand yet. It's one of those things, it's like a kid. You can tell them the stove is hot, but they don't necessarily always believe it until they touch it. So we're trying to prepare our team for what they're going to go into every night, and no doubt I think they're on board. But until you go through it, I don't think they really realize just how good some of these players and programs are, and it's definitely reflected in the current RPI.
Now I want to stick on that for a second because, okay, the Pac-12, 9th in RPI, they could go up, they could go down, but in the end they're going to be a 3 or 4 team bid conference as opposed to you guys 2 steps down the RPI, and unfortunately 1 bid conference probably. I mean, is that an issue? What do you do about that? Do you expand the NCAA tournament, or is this just how it's got to be?
Yeah, no, I don't think you expand the NCAA tournament. I think what you do is you go out and win your conference tournament, and every week as you play these league games, you're preparing your team to hopefully set yourself up for a good seed in your tournament, and then in our case, when we go out to Sioux Falls, hopefully have a chance to win the thing. And so it's a year-long process.
But at the end of the day, you are trying to find gold those 3 days in March and make a run to the NCAA tournament. I think that's what makes the NCAA tournament, in my opinion, what makes it the greatest event in all of sport, is just the number of teams that have an opportunity to get in, and then just that magical week of championship week. I don't think there's anything like it.
Yeah, I just get on my soapbox. I mean, a team like last year, Illinois got in. I mean, their RPI wasn't the greatest. Their win-loss record wasn't the greatest. They didn't have a marquee win. But then you got guys in conferences like the MAC or like you guys that have a lot of wins. The RPI is not the greatest, but they get shafted. I got to disagree. They need to, at some point, it needs to be expanded. But that is just, as a fan and observer of college basketball, I would like to see a couple of mid-major teams, a couple more in it.
There you go. I tell you what I'll do is I'll send an email to the NCAA on your behalf. Let them know that from the locker room, Randy would like multiple mid-major.
You know what? That's a good idea. They'll announce it right then. All right,
Absolutely.
we're getting serious now. This is favorite segment of the locker room Tony Jasek thing here. Down of the week, and I think it's Antoine Boyd. I mean, and Antoine Boyd, and just look at the numbers here. The dude's from Anderson, Indiana, senior guard. He had 15 points last night against Oakland. He's averaging 7 points a game, nearly 3 rebounds a game. And the coach, it just seems, ever since he became eligible a couple weeks back, he's offered you guys a little bit of a spark off the bench and sometimes starting a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really been a key, just from maturity level, toughness level, and experience level. He's really helped our team. His numbers last night offensively were really good. We need for him to continue to be aggressive on the offensive end, not just for himself, getting his own baskets, but also drawing some help and dumping it off some of our other guys, getting some guys some easy baskets like Mario and Kibbe down around the goal. So I hope that kind of sparked his offense last night. And the good thing about Antoine is, every night when he steps on the floor, he's going to compete his butt off and take the challenge of guarding the other team's best player. And that guy's going to have, he may get them, but he's going to have to earn everything he gets against Antoine. So really, really proud of him and hope that he can finish his senior year the right way here these next 2 months.
All right, we kind of have an off the wall. The last 3 or 4 weeks, we just had some random question. So I've explained my story to the viewers out there, my glasses issue. I left my contacts in about 4 or 5 months too long. So I got to wear these for 2 weeks. And you know what? I kind of like them. Not a bad thing. So what you can do, go on the WFFT local Facebook page. You on Facebook?
I am. I am on Facebook for recruiting purposes mainly, but yes.
We'll leave it at that. So we'll go on and vote. Vote. So here's the question. Do you like me with the glasses or without the glasses? It's kind of like a Clark Kent thing here. This is just like Clark Kent.
Definitely not Clark Kent. I can promise you that.
Oh, come on now.
I don't think the glasses or the no glasses is really your issue, but we can get into that later. I don't know what to, I think you really want. I don't think my opinion is what you're looking for. I think mainly some of the female viewers are really should be your concern on what exactly their thoughts are as you move forward.
And just to mention that I am a eligible bachelor single, so just mention that.
Very eligible. I think he's a fine young man. So anybody on Facebook, make a vote and maybe drop him a line and see if you can't help our guy out.
If Tony, at the end of this, I don't know what to do at the end of this segment. Every week it just turns to this. People probably turn it off now, and this
and they run to Facebook.
And they see, Facebook ruins lives. That's my contention anyway. This has been Full Court Press with IPFW basketball coach Tony Jasek. Coach, thanks for stopping by. Coming up next, our Courtney King's going to sit down with IPFW sharpshooter Ann Bosey. Stay tuned.